I gotta do it. I gotta do it. I can't not talk about it. Welcome to episode 81. You know, imagine the unity, okay? Picture this. I remember the Million Man March. I know a lot of you that are my age remember the Million Man March. When probably over 1 million people showed up to the East Coast to join, to somehow find a common ground to better the African American community. Okay, not everybody agreed with Minister Farrakhan. I know I wasn't one of them. He's very polarizing, but they came together to try and figure out how can we get on the same page because something has to change. Okay, came together, spent a fuck ton of money to come together. During that time, that was probably one of the most amazing things that I had seen in the modern day, because I wasn't alive for Martin Luther King and Malcolm X and all these guys. So that to me was something amazing. Now I sit here and I watch and I listen and I read people absolutely destroying Ye for what he said and the t-shirt he wore. Most people are not doing any research as to why he wore that t-shirt, but that's another story. But absolutely destroying him. These are people from his community. I watch as people cheer on billion-dollar companies for canceling him. They cheer him on as if this is somehow going to benefit you, me, your community, my community, the people who don't have a whole lot of money. Like this is going to benefit us. It disturbs me so much at how many people are cheering this on. How many people that were supporters of something like the Million Man March. How many people that, let me get off into this real quick, that were supporters of BLM and got played. You can cut the cake however you want it, but you got played. I got played as well. I didn't send them any money, but I got played because I supported them online. I supported them by going to a couple of rallies. They played me as well. But you got played. And one of the most disturbing things is it has been proven that that organization has screwed everybody, has taken the millions and millions of dollars that they received over the last 2 or 3 years during the pandemic and during the riots, and just used it for their own benefit. Have nothing to show for it. A bunch of fake websites that lead to nothing. Bought mansions. Paid their family an obscene amount of money to do certain things. Literally screwed every single one of you. And still there are some people saying BLM, BLM, all across the internet. Your own people from your community played you. And you are not you're not up in arms. You're not going around doing what people are doing to Kanye. You're not trying to cancel them. You're not going haywire all over social media about this. But yet, Ye says something that shakes the earth to get everybody's attention, and you rally behind billion-dollar companies who are walking out on him. But yet someone who looks just like you and pushed a narrative during the pandemic plays you and takes your money and shows no accountability for it, you let just walk on by. I can't for the life of me understand how you find that to be okay. I can't for the life of me understand how you can't see how powerful it would be if you took the Million Man March approach and said, you know what, I don't agree with Ye and what he said, but he is from our community, and sometimes he feels or sounds like he's lost, but we're going to get behind him, even though we don't wholeheartedly agree with what he said, and we're going to figure this out. We are all going to come together and not leave him out by himself to where they can lynch him in front of everybody. Our stance and us standing shoulder to shoulder by him doesn't mean that we agree with everything he said, like the Minister Farrakhan during the Million Man March. But it means that we are with him to try and figure out, what are you trying to do? And by the way, what do you need from us? It breaks my heart to see how simple-minded a lot of this country has become. Very simple-minded. You know, the craziest thing is, during the pandemic, a lot of the same people that are rooting for Kanye to fall and get down on his knees and beg for forgiveness are the same people who pushed narratives that were exactly like the Nazi movement, of taking people who refused to get vaccinated and putting them in encampments. Don't act like you don't remember that being on the news. Don't act like you don't remember hearing politicians and people all over your social media saying the people who refuse to get vaccinated should be put in areas of the country so they don't infect other people. Don't act like now that this thing is over that you don't remember that. Because if you do, you're fucking lying to yourself. So now that I've brought that up and you remember it, because I know you do remember it, you chose to ignore that that was the exact same thing that they did in Nazi Germany. You chose to ignore that. Why? Because it fit your agenda, because it fit your narrative that everybody was pushing. Those who are unvaxxed, we are in the pandemic of the unvaxxed, remember? Remember? It fit your narrative. Didn't matter that it resembled Nazi Germany. We'll forget that. That needs to happen because we need to protect everybody. Fast forward to now. And Ye says something about the Jewish people who are in charge with the businesses and the corporations that are trying to shut everybody down when they speak out. And all of a sudden, you say it is anti-Semitism, and it rings true of Nazi Germany and what Hitler did. Oh, the fucking hypocrisy. You see, you guys pick and choose what you're fucking offended about. And you fail to realize how fucking goofy you look when you don't think out what you're talking about. When you get a clip from online and you don't do the research and you share it and you agree. Or when you read the headline and you share it and you agree. When you see, when you hear an excerpt of a podcast and you hear it and you agree, and then you share it. When what you should have done was, whatever that clip came from, go find the episode, go find the video, and go watch it in its entirety to find out the context in which what was said fit. Then make your decision. Click the link to that story instead of reading the headline, and read the details, and then take into consideration what your news source is, and then share it if you still agree. You know, I don't know what else to say on this topic, man. You know, this is a podcast about me, my life, things that I'm passionate about, things that I struggle with. This is part of my life because these are the types of things that I'm passionate about. These are the type of things that hit me right in the heart, man. And I wish that you guys could understand how powerful the African American community could be if you just put down your fucking pride, put down your differences, and said, I don't know what he stands for, I don't agree with what he's saying, but I can't for the life of me sit there and allow him to fall down. I can't. And you just ran with it. You said, you know what the hell, I'm gonna figure it out. I'm gonna figure it out. I can't sit back here and cheer on these billion-dollar companies that continue to fuck him over. I don't agree with him. I don't agree with what he's saying, what he's doing. But he needs us, and I don't know what that means, but we're gonna figure it out. Get out of your feelings, man. Get out of your feelings. You know, you're mad about the White Lives Matter shirt. You're mad about the, MAGA hat that he wore. You're mad about the comments he said about slavery. You're mad about the stuff that he said about Jews. You're mad about everything. You're mad that he hangs around with Candace Owens. You're mad that he's cool with Ray J again. You're mad that he's this. You're mad that he's that. I get it. I get it. But to write him off as crazy is a cop-out. And that's a cop-out for people who are weak-minded, who choose not to dig deep on what he's talking about, what is going on. And for God's sakes, man, the guy continues every day to reference God, to reference Jesus, saying, if I have to lose everything, if I have to be down on my money for however long God says I need to, then that's just what it's got to be. You don't have to believe in God, you don't have to believe in Jesus, you can believe in whatever the hell you want. But for me, for someone who has what he has to say, if I got to lose everything in order to build it back up when God tells me it's time, then that's just what I got to do. I don't think I've heard anything as real as that in a long, long time. You got to think about the things that have gone on in this world the last few years that nobody is going as hard on as they are with Kanye. I have referenced the list of names from Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell that never came out, and nobody's up in arms. These are kids that they were touching and destroying their lives. A lot of these stars and athletes and politicians were all part of this, and nobody is lynching these people like they're doing Kanye. The Catholic Church and all the things that they've done, hiding priests, not speaking up, who are touching kids, that again, nobody is speaking about. Nobody is lynching like they are Kanye. Again, the people who started this BLM organization that screwed every single one of you who sent money and went out there and supported them, destroyed cities, destroyed states, destroyed people's businesses that are never coming back, and took your money. and are now millionaires sitting in lavish gated communities. The people that sit on these TV shows, The View and these news shows and these late night talk shows that continue to jab and jab and jab at Kanye as if they don't have anything in their closet that can come out and end their careers. You see, we're real comfortable when it's not us. I'm gonna say it again. Oh, how the table will turn on someone who thinks that they got it all figured out and points the finger and laughs. I'm sorry for the silence, man, because this topic hits me so hard. I hope somebody's listening. I hope someone shares this. And I hope if you're African American, like, I hope you understand what I'm saying, that, yeah, I get it. Maybe you don't agree with everything this dude has said and what he's doing. But you want unity? It's time for you to stand up. It's time for you to get behind and say, you know what? I don't know, man. I don't know what he's talking about. I don't know. I don't agree. He pisses me off. I don't like how he does stuff to grind people's gears and get a reaction. But I also, what I don't like even more is the witch hunt. Dig deep. Think about it. It's never too late, man. And if you think Ye is broke, and if you think all these companies that are dropping him is somehow going to destroy him, I think you should be very, very slow to judgment. Because from the way I view things, is he's now free of all these contracts. And just like he brought himself out of the ghettos of Chicago, he'll bring himself back from the dead, from this industry, and do it himself. And guess what? Like he said a couple weeks ago, Sway did have the answers. Sway told him, take it directly to the consumer. So shout out to Sway. That's that Bay Area hustle, man. Sway, you were right. God bless. I love you guys.